Now let us go and implement our repository exception. So let's just go and see what we have done over here. We have these 4 classes that we have defined over here, and also we have defined our handle the repository exception function that is going to handle all of our repository exceptions. So let's just go back to our repository over here, and let's just go and implement the try except over here, and let's just go and move this one or add the proper intent over here, and let's just go and say the except. We are going to accept the first thing is the I guess we will operational error from the SQLAlchemy.the exception. Let's import that one as a E over here, and then we are going to raise the our connection I guess. What was that? Let's just go back over here. This is the one, so we need to raise this one from here, and we are going to pass it from the exception that we have called, and let's just go and import that one over here. And next is we are going to accept our what was that? Let's just go back over here, and that is of the transaction failure over here, and let's just go and add that one. Okay, so for the transaction failure, what we require is the SQLAlchemy over here. So SQLAlchemy error over here, let's just grab that one as the E, and if that is of the SQLAlchemy error, then we are going to raise our transaction failure error. Let's just go and import that over here. Otherwise, if the rest of the exception, we are going to just pass in to the raise our exception, our repository exception. And now with this, what it does is if there is any of the operational error related to the maybe a database server down or something, then we are going to cast the connection failure. And if the error is from the SQLAlchemy error, then we are going to raise the transaction failure error. Otherwise, if that is not the case, then we are going to just catch the cast the generic exception, and then raise the repository exception from here. And based on that one, we have defined that in the front end we are going to return a JSON response with the status code of the 503, and in the content we will return the code. Maybe it's the connection failure, transaction failure, or the unique constraint failure, or else the unknown the DB unknown failure, and a generic message. And now once we have done that, so let's just go and do the same thing for our rest of. So let's just go and copy this over here, and let's just go and raise the try again over here, and let's just go and add the proper intent over here, and we are going to just go and pass it the same thing over here, because this is also a get request. And in the post request we have a different post and patch, we have a little bit different over here. So let's just go and for the create over here, let's just go and add the try over here, and let's just move into this one to the proper intent over here, and let's just go and pass that one over here. And now in the create, what we need is to also raise the unique constraint failure. So if you try to insert a duplicate primary or duplicate record, that doesn't allow. For if you try to let's say country A already exists, and if you try to enter a country A again, that's going to give us the exception, right? So for that we have to cast the except the integrity so integrity, I guess integrity error over here, right? So let's just go and import that one over here. So let's just go and import it from the SQLAlchemy over here, I guess. So let's go SQLAlchemy.my. So let's just go and import that one over here, and let's just go and import this one as well over here, and we are going to raise that one over here. And let us make sure that we import this from the correct location. So SQLAlchemy.exe, integrity error, operational error, as well as the SQLAlchemy error. So that's correct. So make sure you have the correct import, otherwise that's going to give us an error. And now since this is the create, which is of the post request, it's going to go and write it to the database. So once we are writing it to the database, what it does is opens up the session, and what we need to do is we also need to go, and if there is any pending transaction, we need to roll it back. So for that, we'll just go and say the self dot the session that we have dot the rollback over here. So that's going to roll back any of the pending transaction over here once there is a failure, because we don't want to keep pending that one, right? So once the error arises over here, or we catch the exception, we want to roll back the current transaction over here. And once we have that, we need to do the same thing for our update as well, right? So in the update, we may also have the integrity error. So let's just go and keep that one as well over here. So let's just go and add the proper intent over here, and let's just go and add that one over here. So integrity error, and then the operational error, SQLAlchemy error, as well as the exception. And then finally we have for the delete as well. So let's just go and add the proper intent over here, and let's just go and add the one over here. And here we don't require the integrity error, because in the delete request we don't have to raise that one, right? So it's not going to get caught for any of the integrity error. It's just a delete request. And here we grab the operational error as well as SQLAlchemy, and then the generic exception that we catch over here. And once we have done this one, and once the setup is done over here, you can see how clean the code looks over here. So there is no the polluted code over here. Everything looks clean and clear, because we have centralized that to our HTTP error over here that we have defined, right? So it's done from here. So if you can think, if we have to do this, if we have to write this code in the repository, how dirty it would look like. So every exception that we have to catch it over here, raise it over here, and write all of those code over here, that will be much more difficult to maintain. So once we centralize it over here, it looks much more cleaner and much more maintainable over here. And now once the server is running, what we can do is we will go and try to test it out. So let's just go and get it by the ID over here, and let's just go and pass in the one over here. Let's just go and execute this one, and now you can see we got the service unavailable error, which is of the 503. That is what we have defined over here, which is of the 503, and then the code, and then the message. So let's just go and take a look over here, and in the code we have the DB connection failure, which means that the database server is down, that the database service temporarily unavailable. So this is the response that we are going to get now, and you can see now if any of the error that we caught in our repository will raise this particular error, right? So based on the code and then the message, this look much more standardized over here, because we are going to get the same response over here, which is of the code and then the message, and in the front end we can easily identify whether that was the connection failure or whether that was the transaction failure and all of those stuff. And I hope now you should be able to do that for your application layer, which we will have the country service. Try to see and try to come up with the idea and try to implement the exception handling in your country service class over here.